what? Burn down. How does
that
happen? Fiber optics burn down? They're like, burn down, ma'am. What? What are you talking about? I don't even understand. So, all right. But that's, we're slowly realizing and slowing our paces down, right? We don't get upset. We just roll with it. We deal with it.
It is what it is. Nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. But yeah, I heard you ladies talking how special this month is, especially this week. It's such a special week.
We've got the Lunar New Year, which of course doesn't mean anything to the folks of Bali, but the new moon tomorrow night.
Well, it does mean a lot to the people in Bali. Well, it's Chinese New Year, so
Chinese New Year, but it's not the Balinese New Year.
Well, correct. Although we do have our New Year's coming up very soon as well, and so we have a long process from now all the way through to February, which is in celebration. So they all overlap a bit. So there's quite a bit of Chinese here as well, and there's a lot of overlapping holidays, just like the pagan holidays with Christian, right?
And I was just sharing with these guys that tonight is actually a big celebration for the Siwa Ratri, and the goddess Ratri in Hindu is the goddess of darkness, of the dark, and she has a sister who is goddess of light, and how they're supposed to be, meditating and going within themselves tonight. And I was like, we got to see a lot of people preparing for that today, which was great fun. So that was getting ready for the celebration. So that was
you'll see all over the beaches, especially tonight. There's a lot of offerings that'll be taking place, and there'll be a lot going on. In fact, you should go to a cacao ceremony maybe tonight. You should find a cacao ceremony.
I think we've got work to do to get ready for this.
You have plenty of time. We've got you. So, okay. So we wanted to come together. Victoria and I were chatting about it, and since our last call on Friday, is we could put something together for a book design, although I'm not sure putting something together because it can always change. I thought, well, why would we rush something as a book design unless you really know what you want? Because the chances are it is 100% is going to change. So then that means that we could hold up exact books, but just, create a cover over top of one. That would be something that you really want. Unless you feel like, no, I think I just definitely want to make something and have it printed. Because I think photoshopping can actually be even better than a cover on a book. Because Jez, and by the way, I'm sure she introduced you to Jez.
Yes.
And because that's what we were thinking. We're like, gosh, we could always have her, hold up a book with a fake cover, but you're going to want to change it anyways. And then you're going to go, I don't want to use those. Or we could work on one, certainly. And then you could hold up any of the books, like we hold up, and we've done this a billion times.
Rob gets photoshopped in,
and then we put the exact one you wanted on it. Like I most of my images I took were before my book was published, and I did a lot of these. My hands out, my hand here, and we just put the book on my hand. And we did these, and the book's in your hand. So all of that I think is very possible. And instead of rushing the guys to make you something that you're like, oh, it's just okay, but I'm definitely changing it. That's a waste of everyone's energies. Whereas we could really nail one for you, right? Like really get one good.
What is the process then of going about post-production Photoshop? And Jez, I guess you will be the person to direct this to, in adding the accurate book cover.
Yeah, well, Jez is the head designer. So we have, a lot of time this week, but you already had some ideas, which I know that you did, and Victoria sent me over what you had sent, is we could start there now. Jez could start playing with something. I just don't want to say, yes, let's print it, when you're like, it's not quite there yet. So we could literally get some mock-ups and then, work on them during the week, sending them back to Jez because we're all in the same time zones. And then we could nail something this week together as well.
Well, I think I might want to explore that just because I have a pretty good vision that the brand name is Divine, Feminine, Warrior, Goddess. So that's the overarching brand
Yeah.
name.
Mm-hmm.
The title of this book then is going to be Reclaiming Your Crown. So Reclaiming Your Crown is really going to be the focal point. Obviously, I'm introducing Divine Feminine Warrior Goddess at this time because it's not an established brand. But because I want to do more with the brand at some point, other things, because this book, if there's future books, it'll be, Divine Feminine Warrior Goddess,
Right.
the power of whatever,
Yeah.
or that type of thing. But I'm afraid, I don't know how that works in terms of you have a brand name that's going to be used on multiple different things, multiple platforms. The book itself, the focus is on reclaiming your crown. So with that in mind, obviously I'm thinking of a crown to be fairly front and center for this. Yes, Divine Feminine Warrior Goddess is going to have to be a part of that because this is the introduction of the brand as well. So without getting too wordy on the front cover, I don't know how that might look, but this emphasis is about reclaiming your crown, and that's what I'm going for.
Yeah, let me give you let me just open something up. And this is great because this is how you want to look at things. And we're going to go through this, we can go through this together, certainly, in the event. Our objective here was really to either mock something up or to look at even putting something together for you, like a stand-up banner for when you're talking. So you've got some already of a goddess look feeling that it doesn't have to be the exact book cover, but it could be you with the name, because how we look at it is building, we call the brand umbrella. So if Divine Feminine Goddess is the brand itself, that's always going to stay. You're just the author, right? And then certainly other things are going to come through it. And like we were talking the other day on how we then begin to build and develop the brand, which is another book. It's, courses, it's events, but they all have their own different tagline, right? Or their own different things. So you're already there. I think introducing this first book as a Divine Feminine, Reclaiming Your Crown, is just one of the elements. Reclaiming Your Crown is like one of the elements of that brand, right? Which is how you're already seeing it. So I think what the best start point is to say, okay, and this is just to give you an idea. This is just some of my brand stuff. We're going to go through this stuff this week.
Okay.
Of just like really diving in. But what my suggestion would be is like, let's look at, you don't have a logo or anything quite yet, right? You don't have anything that's matching it.
No,
Great.
I don't have a book yet. So.
Yeah, exactly. That's fine. It's okay. We know, 90% of books that do well sell everything before the books are done. Like all the work is done in advance, and it's a lot less work for you. That's what I love the most. Like when we were working with Jody, her book was only a quarter done. She was selling the sponsorship first, and then we were working on the development, working on the brand. She's finishing the book. Now she's halfway through the course, and it's been, I wouldn't say flawless because everything's, effortless because there's a lot of effort, but a lot easier than saying, okay, book, now what? Much, too much, right? So let's look at it that way. So let's look at, I think that we should do is let's get the feels of your color palette, which I think that you're kind of there because we saw a gorgeous picture you chose. And then look at even just the fonts alone will matter. Jez can, and his team can start going, okay, so this is the kind of feel we're looking for. Here's the fonts that we are we're fond of, that we're favoring. And then they can start, like managing a look for you. And then that way we can begin making some content that can resemble what you're looking for, but then it can evolve into itself. The best start is looking at the color, the font, and the feel, right? That's the best start. Especially if we want to do like a banner for you for this event, you can literally use a picture of you, or you can use that beautiful picture that you found or something like it, and then have the wording on there. And then just the text itself is the brand until it becomes a logo.
Right. Until, which I'm comfortable with. Yeah,
Yeah.
as far as the color palette that I was leaning towards, yes, I did send that picture in. It really caught my eye. I was particularly drawn to, in spirituality in particular, there's something called the violet flame.
Yes.
And also you have in royalty that deep indigo purple,
Yes.
which is a marker of kind of royalty. I don't want a purple, but I'm looking at
Yeah.
a bluish and
No,
indigo.
I know. We know exactly what you're talking about. Let me pull this up for
Right.
you.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
obviously the complement to that being a yellow or yellow gold, and gold
Mm.
obviously being very royal feeling color. Those two combinations I felt were pretty strong and kind of came out at me when I sent that image.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Okay. This is too light. You're going for the darks, right?
yeah, I'm looking for a dark indigo, not a pale
Yeah,
violet.
not a lavender. We're going for
Yeah,
this down here, like the transmutations colors. Let me
yeah,
find.
something.
Yeah,
It's really a very deep,
yeah,
rich.
exactly. Let's go with
Yeah,
violet. Let's go with indigo.
indigo.
Yeah, and you know what's really amazing? You're gonna just
There we
freak
go.
out when I tell you this. We know the number one is the only, I think, indigo. He makes fresh indigo dyes, and he's in Ubud. He's very good, close to
Oh,
us. He's very
wow.
close to Sophie. He was going to do a workshop with Hannah Lane, helping her dye her clothing indigo. He like the purest indigo, the most natural. They use
Wow.
natural plant, I believe. And
Yeah.
so that like this is the way that um, like just the way that it's feeling. There's so many connections to like something that you could find that you love and like. And then, I mean, just think, can you imagine having like a piece of clothing or a shirt or something dyed in your color that you actually find? And like, it's
Yeah.
just so much, connections here. So let's just take a look at this. So are you leaning more towards like this type of indigo with the purple or more on the electric?
Not so much the electric, but
Yeah,
more of
deeper,
a purpley blue.
purpley deeper.
So
Yeah.
because purple is a royal color,
Yeah.
but like I said, indigo being a deep purpley blue. Yeah, like that large one that you have up here.
Yeah, I really love that. And
Yes,
it's
that's
it's cool.
lovely.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not into any of these. Yeah, this is the
crushed indigo.
actual, yeah, opal flames, um or indigo opal. Okay, so I love this palette as well. I think it's a smart color. Would you look to going more stay on the neon side or more muted?
I'm sorry, I missed the first part.
Are you fond of more of the electric or more muted?
I generally like more bold colors rather than muted colors. I'm a primary color girl, not a pastel.
So this is too faded.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's really good that we have to go
because
through the process.
one of the elements of the brand is warrior.
Right.
So that there's a boldness and there that I like, and there's nothing muted about
Warrior.
me or about the brand.
Now, are you going for more, because it is warrior goddess, or warrior feminine, are you going for an image of a more warrior feminine woman? Or are we looking for more of a feeling?
It's more of a feeling because divine feminine warrior goddess are four aspects of every woman. So there is not one image that will, capture in terms of a person
Hmm.
doesn't necessarily capture because there are four aspects to every woman. And, that's what I talk about, in the book and things. And, you can get a feel from that. What's one of the reasons I liked the image that I sent is because it's a very regal, kind of feeling image, but there's a certain strength
Yeah. You know
underlying
what? Why don't
as
we do this,
well.
Victoria? I don't have it in front of me.
See, I don't
Can
know
you
how to.
yeah, send it over. Let's open that. Okay, this is great. So yeah, we're looking for more of a feeling. and less of a directed image and more of, or would you say, do any type, because the one that you have has a female on it. Are you looking to showcase a female, or like because it's reclaiming your crown? And I'm asking these because, and this is why, whenever we're doing book series or course series or things that just develop, we want to have something that starts it.
Right.
Now, reclaiming your crown is its own tagline or book, if you will. So then this is the first in the series.
Who knows?
Or, right. Or who knows? There could be one that could come before it, right?
Well, it's my thought is to take, because it's not necessarily that I'm looking to write a series of books, but this is a stopping off point, because my mission is about empowering other women to use this as a starting point to perhaps hold, goddess retreats or speaking or coaching or other avenues in which I can reach women and to help empower them. So, because reclaiming your crown to me is about, it's getting your power back, your personal power back. So it's not that I'm going to have Divine Feminine Warrior Goddess, Reclaiming Your Crown is book 1 in the series of, the Game of Thrones books, that kind of thing. Not really looking to do that. It's more about.
So for you, what I'm hearing is that this is more of a methodology and a process for someone that can take the process and move with it.
Yeah, because, when I started writing it, yes, it is a book about my journey, but the only reason it's about my journey is in hopes that other women see themselves and see that they can also take these steps within their own lives.
Do you have currently a methodology or a process that's yours, that's more intellectual property, that how you get people from step 1 to step 2 becoming a divine feminine warrior?
I really haven't thought about that, but I think that's a really good point.
It's
something that I can, call my own. What I have done up to this point is tell my story. And here's how I got to where I am now. Because one of the issues with methodology is that everyone is on their own journey, and there is no right or wrong way, and there's no way that say, oh, you should do this and then this and then this. So there is a danger of setting out a roadmap for people and saying, oh, this is what you need to do.
Well, there's also a process of guided. You're providing guidance through experience, and especially as a divine feminine warrior goddess, if that is a term that has been heard, because it's a something. It has something. Therefore, you always want to have something that makes you unique. Yeah. Because otherwise, there's a billion of those. In fact, Divine Feminine Warrior Goddess has never been written together or said or copyrighted or trademarked?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, I know when I made my Facebook page and my Instagram page, they were available. So
how long?
It's long. It's long. I usually shorten it and put DFWG.
Which is cool. Yeah, which is great, actually.
Yeah.
And that's there's a lot of play with monogram, right? And analogies like that you could utilize your abbreviations that makes the brand or the logos themselves. I would let's before we go deep, let's make sure Divine Feminine Warrior Goddess is not trademarked. Somewhere, okay? And we can do a little bit of research while we're chatting. Victoria can do a little, because that could be a real big stopping point. We've had that before, right? We've had it before. We've worked with a number of women that have created some amazing programs. There's Larcy, I know that you're here, babe. So can you please find us, you know who I'm thinking of? Wings, Jez. What's her name? Green Wings?
Candice.
Kim. Kim and Candice was the
yeah, Kim.
Kim was the wings, right? She was the mama goddess. Yeah. We've done a number of different brands and developments for women in a similar space.
Yeah.
And one of our clients found out that her brand was completely taken. So it's really important that we're aware of that. But it doesn't mean you can't use the words. It just means that may not be your main stamp, right? Okay, so with that being said, we have an idea of the look and the feel. I love that image of that woman. I loved it a lot. It really just brings a lot of.
I do not know who the artist is. I couldn't find the artist. I do have a personal friend of mine who does watercolor painting and does beautiful work. And I've already reached out to her. And so we're going to talk a little bit about, like, because right now I see a lot of flowers and birds and things like that. I was like, can you do people? You know, I mean, what might be the thing here? I loved the image. I really just caught my attention. I love the colors. The feel. I love I did not like some funky bow that she's got on top of her head. I don't know where that comes from, but she does have a little bit of a crown. You will see there's like a little bit of a crown there. So there is that.
Well, what excites me with what you just said is that my daughter is an intuitive, and she reads auras, and she's an artist, and she paints how she sees people. And you will really be magically connected to my daughter, I'm sure.
I can't wait to meet her.
She drew a painting of a woman she's one of our clients as well, Isabel Tierney. And she literally sketched this unbelievable image of her, and in this beautiful goddess dress, in this green dress. And she handed it to her, and it's the exact image that she had when she was married. And so if you would like to wear what you were just saying, watercolor, she's a watercolor phenom.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
And we can ask Hanalei to look at that painting and just to help. Yeah, I think that would be a lot of fun. But again, we're having this conversation because I just think connection is everything, and creating the brand through something that is just so divinely connected is the most important piece, right? Whether it's your friend, you find it, it's that picture, right? I mean, that's to us the most important. I'm going to open something just so I can give you an example, so you can kind of get a visual of some other ideas that Jez and his team has created for some of our clients in the same space. And let's see, okay, so let's see, this was, all right, so this was Kim, Mama Goddess, right? And she created a whole program based on being the Mama Goddess. Everything is divinely connected. And because I always love showing the congruency of how things.
I love the play on words.
Right? So fun. So fun. But yeah, goddess. Yeah, exactly. Because she said her kids always said, "Mom," you're like, "Oh my God," like God. And so it was really super cute. So she's a really lovely lady, and but she's a real lady. So keeping spirit real was her tagline.
I love that. I don't have a tagline. I didn't think about that.
Yes, but don't worry, we were already going to be there with you.
Okay.
Right? Because that's what we're going to work on. The other ladies a lot of them already have what they're working on, but this is development stuff, right? So it's really good for you to understand it, because we go from, all right, I know the look and the feel, and then we kind of put that in the side burner because we're not quite sure, and then we say, all right, I know the name, so now let's either go forward or we got to reverse it and say what could be, the tagline that could really represent this, and then it starts to develop from there as well, right? So there's all different angles that we go, and there's no like start to finish, because it has to come from a development phase, right? And so hers is just really lovely. And then, did we bring in Candace's as well by chance? Lars, if you find Candace's.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So those are just some few. I think our best move is, because we've got of ideas. You've got a feel. It's kind of watercolory. We've got that look as an image, but that image of that woman could become just the basis, but it's not the brand itself. It's more of the icon that makes it connect.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And so I think that our a really nice move would be to move into fonting. When you say, Jess, is to look at the kind of fonts that she likes. Because when you see your brand name in a font, whether it's got anything around it or connected, you're like, okay, that's connecting, right?
Okay.
Because I think I have a feeling the background of what you're creating is going to be more of this watercolor, this big image. And then the name is just going to be an add-on to it. The name is going to just represent.
I am open to like all suggestions at this point.
Yeah, nice. It's such a fun process. And it really just comes down to talking and designing.
It's kind of an organic type thing, because that's how it happened. It came to me in a meditation. So, who the hell knows?
Well, and everyone always says the same. They always go, oh, what is your process? I said, look, we do have a specific process and I can walk you through it. But when it comes to the design side, we just have to keep talking about stuff. And all of a sudden something pops up and we go, oh my gosh, yes. Oh my gosh, yes. Right?
One thing I wanted to point out though, I'm concerned about being too, if it's too watercolory, it doesn't have enough of this is beautiful with the dream catcher, and it's a clean design, because I don't want it to be too fussy.
It's really important to hear all of this, right? This is why we show you stuff that could match you a bit.
Right.
And so this again she was going for the personal brand from the start. And so we used her initials, but she had to have this feather. Now it took us, I don't know how long to find this perfect feather, but wow, we found it.
Yeah.
Because it was her colors. She has American Indian descent. So it was like
beautiful dream catcher. That's gorgeous.
Yeah, really, really lovely. Now, then, let me see. Now we went then from that design. Let's go with her mood board, because where did we, with her CTC, but she also had her, hers was the divine, what was her, Candace's product, guys? Who remembers? She was the whispers of the soul.
Ooh,
that's what hers was. So hers was it was your whispers of your soul. Hers also came from a download in a meditation that she had these whispers that she needed to put together, the whispers for every woman's soul. And so it started off as just her as the personal brand with what she wanted to feel like. And all of a sudden it was the whispers, and this turned into now the whispers of your soul. And it was all her course was these modules, and the book was the whispers, but she was the creator.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, it's at some point, it's too long of a story to tell you here. I will share with you how Divine Feminine Warrior Goddess came to be, but
well, we can do that this week. I'm excited because we're all going to have to tell our story.
Now.
Yeah, we're all going to tell our story. So now that you've got a couple ideas, did any of those, like in the scripting of her name, do you like that anything more whimsical? Is it more bold? Have you had any visual ideas of that as of yet?
I honestly haven't paid any attention to what that might feel like. Because it is about about feminine energy, which we all have masculine and feminine energy within us. Okay. But what I am trying to do, because the feminine energy has been shoved down by patriarchy, society, about everything like that, that is part of the process. So in honoring that, I feel I want to tend to go towards something a little more feminine feeling than a bold masculine look.
For you, would that mean more of a script? Or would that mean
probably more of a script, but I don't like a lot of frilly. I am not a frilly person. I don't like a lot of loopy, frilly fonts that are so hard to read because it's so busy and
that's right. Yeah, too foo-foo. Okay, so
I'm pretty direct person.
What'd you say?
I'm a pretty direct person.
Well, if you then, by saying that, you may respect this. I would call myself a spiritual realist. I am a flat-out divine warrior goddess. I was American Indian. I am American Indian descent, but I was a warrior. I fought with a warrior, with swords, with shields every day in my past life. And now I'm farthest from wispy, but I am a damn feminine warrior goddess, right? So for me, same way. I'm a spiritual realist. I don't go, woo, I don't fly around. I stay there because I get it all. It's just real to me.
Yeah. It was a very real journey, and it's a very real journey a lot of women are on and need help with. And that's what I'm here to do.
Yeah. Okay. I'm feeling you. And so it's got to be more, it's there. This is what it is, but it's very connected.
I don't want it to be too woo-woo feeling.
Right.
I want this to be very
not airy-fairy.
No, I really don't.
No, I don't see that about you. We're very connected warrior goddess like.
Okay, let's put it this way. I'm a recovering attorney. I used to be an attorney, a litigation attorney, no less. Okay.
Well, Victoria studied to
kick your ass in the courtroom. Okay. So,
okay,
just understand what my background is. So I don't do the woo-woo. Yes, I do healings. I do spiritual work, that type of thing. But it's actually very grounded. It's not whatsoever.
Okay, so this is good. Jez, are you getting any ideas when it comes to a feminine style font that is grounded, not wispy woo-woo-y? Because there's some ideas.
You just Google that, Just go.
Yeah, I want a feminine font, not wispy, not woo-woo-y.
Not woo-woo-y, but not too masculine.
I slowly compiled a couple of, actually compiled a mood board while you guys were talking.
Yeah, I knew he was. I saw you. I could tell he was doing it because that's what he does. I knew he was doing it because I could see his eyes moving. Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
So, here are like a couple of references we could maybe look at and maybe play around with. So,
I like pavilion.
We started with this, right? So, this image, and then now here are a couple. Yeah, so you like pavilion?
I like that look. Yeah.
I do. Yeah.
Because it has a bit of power along with the femininity too.
It does.
Exactly. Yeah. The hair. Yeah. You can even like make this is a kind of monogram that you normally illustrate, and we can put the crown and put the elements that maybe establish your brand. So here are, let me refresh this a bit. I added a couple more. Yeah, so just let me know if something strikes your eye.
Okay.
Now, as you're watching, the Aphrodite, that's something that really heavily resonates with me. It's very sexy and feminine.
I was my eye was drawn to that one as well.
Me too.
Oh, it was mine.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
Super clean, super
very
minimal.
clean, and even the font alone is it's very sexy yet extremely strong.
Scroll up to that one again, Jez, real quick.
Let's look at that. I don't know what that font is, Jez, but wow.
Yeah, I like that too.
Unbelievably gorgeous. Wow. Yeah. It's very Romanesque, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Greek,
which represents us from through and through.
Let's see.
The Venus is a nice font, simple. Would you say, because now that we're looking at imagery and is there a specific even look or feel of a goddess? Is there another representation? Is it a special iconic, like an Aphrodite?
I'm glad you just saved that one, Jez. The starburst one, the sunburst one. I was like, ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I was imagining the seal having like a hair kind of glow with this kind of.
Yeah. Well, and it incorporates moon and sun energy right in that, which is really powerful. That's lovely. The other thing that is quite powerful are pyramids or the triangle. Is a powerful symbol. So, well, of course, I love that. Yes, the moon and star one. Even though I have nothing in my name that refers to moon and stars, it's just a thing I like.
Like a balance of feminine and masculine, though, as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It definitely is feminine and masculine.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
How would this one?
Ooh.
Oh, that's interesting. I don't like the way the circle cuts her hair off. It looks like a bad 80s
In a
hair.
bad box.
Yeah, and it's a hairstyle. It's beauty too, which is even more interesting.
Yeah, I'm like, that's like bad 80s hair. I don't know.
Bad part,
why
sister. Bad part.
I get it. They were doing it in a circle, but it's like cuts her hair
Yeah.
in that, and that's distracting.
Yeah.
So right now we're just collecting references so we can create this mood
Okay.
board.
This is interesting. The far left, the Phoebe, that one is an interesting. I like the
almost like
simplicity of
a
the
lotus, yeah, and a hand. It's a lotus, but it almost has a hand.
That would almost be like a massage therapist, but there was something in the simplicity of the line that's lovely.
Yeah,
Like
look at the magic hour. Do you lean on science at all, or you lean more on universe? I mean, more on the spiritual side? Because there's
I'm not sure I understand, because there's metaphysics as part of spirituality.
Well,
I like the one with the flower in her hair too. That's pretty. The twine logo ideas, whatever.
yeah, would you lean more towards on the metaphysical side or the more spiritual side?
Generally more spiritual, I think. But the victory's pretty.
Yeah, I love symmetry in a logo.
Yeah.
Name on
it. I can really see your simplicity. The things that are pulling for you are very simple.
Yeah, they're clean.
Very clean. We could really balance nicely a boldness and a lightness between either the monogram and then the titles.
Oh, what is this one? Go down a little bit. It looks like a Picasso.
Oh yeah, the home decor one.
Yes.
That's really interesting.
I really like that.
Yeah, the single line's lovely.
I like that a lot.
Yeah.
It's a little abstract. I happen to love art. So
you save that one, Jess, just before we scroll on?
This one. Yeah.
This one.
Yeah. Wow. Gosh, there's so much you could do with that.
No.
Like even just the shape of a face, or wow, the moon, the lips, like the things that you could do in a simple line design.
Beautiful.
You're gonna love my daughter. She's gonna you're gonna lose it. If you show my daughter this, she will go insane. We'll have to open up and show you some of her work that she's been posting on her art page.
That is spectacular. I really like that.
I do.
It could be the element in the logo, it could be the face, and then you can see the crown, and then her hair just falls, like forming the badge. So it's like one simple monogram with a lot of elements.
Yeah. I love the simplicity of those lines.
Yeah, me too.
Beautiful.
Something about that Aphrodite font that is just keeping me so.
That is a beautiful font.
It is. But look at the plume. Look at that plume font with that other Picasso.
It's almost like a Art Deco feel, like the 20s.
It does have
getting that vibe from it.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Oh, look, I like
There's
that.
another one. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Picasso-y kind of thing. That's a little more detail-y with the loopies kind of thing, but it's an interesting. That just really captured my eye.
Yeah, I mean, not going into a female figure's detail.
Yeah.
It's simple lines that can.
Yeah,
really
like the line of that body, the beauty
Yeah.
canvas art prints. I mean, then you're getting into, that's probably, not exactly what I'm looking for, but the simple lines, I think you get what I'm looking for here. Something very graphic about that I like.
But what I'm thinking is that obviously it's so good for us to start collecting this, is that for you for this week, obviously this will take development, but what I'd like to do is
what is the minimalist?
the one, the yellow, that one.
Oh no, it's to the left and up. Scroll up a little bit.
Art print.
Yeah, this one right here.
Open into single line drawings as well, Jess, because there's so many beautiful ones that are far more powerful than that one there.
Yeah, true.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm feeling that single, ever since I saw that one that we first looked at, I was like, wow, that's completely
I know.
changed my thought on that, to have the simplicity of that.
Well, guys, how often do we just do this and all of a sudden it comes and you can't get your mind off of it?
Yeah.
This plus.
That's beautiful. There's your Aphrodite.
Yeah.
Okay.
The solar goddess, did you see that on the left? Scroll down under the floral doula on the left.
Yeah.
It's very pale. I can't really see it.
Yeah, well, I liked the font really stood out because it's just really quite
okay.
simple. It's very pale. What a bad color to be on.
Yeah.
Yeah, the simple line art. This, maybe you could start with this style, just like the Picasso painting.
Mm-hmm.
Then create maybe an illustration of like a warrior goddess. So she has a crown. Her eye.
Yeah, because that's quite similar. I'm looking at this image here as you guys are doing this. What I loved about this image, it does have this. It has a. That's a Monet, right? The swirl, the Monet.
It does have a bit of a Monet.
Yeah, this swirl there could have. It has so much meaning.
Well, a spiral is actually a very powerful, universal.
Yeah.
thing. I mean, that's what the universe does. Those things that we don't deal with now come back to us. It's all spiral. It's all a spiral.
Yeah,
and
I mean, everything even in science is Fibonacci sequences, right?
Yes,
so,
yes, exactly. The spiral is interesting, but obviously this is not a graphic type of a look. This is a different kind of a look. But spirals, I love spirals.
Well, that's why looking at elements of what you like this can obviously be an image that can be used anywhere, this style of image. But when we're creating the logo and the feel, it's like it's got to take the elements that are going to come from what you really love to look at that represents the brand.
The colors I loved the indigo and the gold, the yellow gold. The spirals definitely caught my eye. There was a certain strength in her directness, not looking away, but a directness looking right at the camera type thing. There is that crown element to it, but there were a few things in that picture that caught my attention.
Yeah, that we can pull through. And I think no matter what, utilizing the spirals and the elements of that in the development.
Far left.
Oh,
just off of the.
Yeah. Far left.
Down here. No, it was more of a. Yeah. See the gold and the purple there.
Oh yeah.
Eileen's World or Island's World.
Mm-hmm. Got it.
The color combination, and maybe it's slightly more yellow than gold, but the color combination I really think is great.
Yep. So yeah, that color combination. Let's see if we get more of these.
I have a friend.
Hi. Oh, how fancy. We're talking to you in the middle of the day and you're on the same island.
Hi, Jess. How are you? Hi, Vic.
Hi. So wild.
I'll let you guys work.
Okay, so what do you need from me? What do I need to be working on right now?
Yeah, so obviously we're just gathering right now. It's there's not a lot of space that we can move with what we have other than having Jez just take some of the fonts that we favored.
Mm-hmm.
And even putting watercolor just behind it. Jez have it in spiral.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The font.
I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, is there any way to pull up that Picasso line drawing and I can show her?
Yeah, he's got it saved.
What really caught my eye? This.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
Okay, so a little bit more.
Oh, that's why Scandinavian.
Mm.
That's my heritage.
Right.
My family's
more comes out, right? That's how it starts to happen. And like you really start to make it very connected to you.
yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the colors, but I love the line drawing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like it.
You can start with this.
Yeah.
Why don't you, Jez, let's play with something, because if this is so fond of this, obviously I know you know, because I know what Hanalei knows how to do the art and make it your own, line art it and all that good stuff. I know the work that you can do with that, just to give her a feeling that it almost could feel like it's hers. Ooh, look at that one. That was really interesting. Let's do that and place the divine feminine warrior goddess in multiple different looks with font, like using that similar font that we found with Aphrodite, some of these others. Look at these ones. Wow, there's such a whole look to this.
So different
Similar.
world.
Gosh, this is all the Scandinavian artists, I'm assuming, yeah?
No, it's just like Matisse, kind of Matisse, Picasso-ish type. Oh, we got a little bit of like, Andy Warhol and
Yeah.
a little
I call it the Batman look, that polka dot stuff.
oh yeah, that's
So let's do that, because we could go down a rabbit hole that may not come out of.
right.
Because we need to refeel that again. And I think we could do really well if we just like, let's replicate that line art a bit using the divine feminine warrior goddess as font. And then, give it just kind of just a feel of that. And then the one that you did, the Aphrodite, wasn't quite the one that you liked, but there was another one that had more of a spiral to it, that was almost, it had a roundness to it.
Yeah.
Let's just so we can give the feeling of it, Jez, so we can start putting something together. And I would think that if you could watercolor that look in a way that has that indigo and the depth of the purple almost similar to this, just to give us a picture of it, that could help us come together with that. Do you know how to, you can match, I couldn't figure out what that was, but I think that we could match up that divine feminine font, yeah?
I think I had a similar font, but it's not really got like perfect, but I think I have one.
We can try to match it up. Otherwise, we can always recreate something if we like it. Yeah, I mean, so obviously this is we're going to want to continue to go into a little bit more depth here, Sandra. So Jez is just going to play with something. We'll let him go with it. But I think what we should do is let's look to finding a font that we really just think just works. And Jez will play with some looks. We have a color background, so we can play with some watercolor, just, more of a water blot kind of background, so we can just see the colors with the font. Okay. Would you say, does gold, for some reason for me, what I keep seeing is the color, but the brand name itself being in gold, or is that too light for you? Does that, with bright gold,
metallic gold, or just a gold color?
Well, I guess you should ask yourself that question. Does metallic gold resonate with you, or is it more of the sun?
Obviously, metallic gold is going to bring forth more of that royal crown, exactly. That kind of a feel to it. I hadn't really thought, I'm a little concerned about just using a gold color. As you said, it might be too light.
Yellowy, yeah, and too
yellowy light, and yellow is one of those colors I normally don't. I'm normally not attracted to.
Me too.
But
gold all day long.
But when I saw that indigo, that was the natural. And it's just, there's so many different shades of it. Like, I don't like mustard yellow, like that brownish yellow. I don't like that. But there's a clean, clear, crisp gold or yellowy gold.
Well, the yellow complements those deep colors. It needs
Yes.
something that's light. Otherwise, it's just like a dark hole, right?
Yes.
So I think that's where the complement would happen.
But I have no idea in terms of what color I want.
Yeah.
So
So if we were to just, let's give you some visuals so we can put something together so you can see it. The way that the spiral with the depth of the purple and the blue, Jez, the way that that moved, let's try something like that with, let's say, the gold name across, or with, you know, and around the look. And then the line art, almost with a faded, like a watercolory, with those colors behind that line art. So you can kind of give, like, would that even work for you? With even a bolder font, like more of a charcoal, even gray, if you will, to see if it would really blend, not so black yet.
right.
More of a muted gray, but
Right.
rich gray, almost like velvet gray, like my new velvet pillows. Like, I gotta show you. Hold on, I'm gonna turn around.
Okay.
Because I have a new gray velvet chair. I don't know, you might not be able to see it.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love the hair.
Yeah, so it's a gray velvet. So I just got new blue
awesome.
velvet, but it's like pewter gray, and it's
I love pewter gray. I love that color. Yes,
So like
that would be beautiful.
Right? That's I don't know. This is obviously connected to me, but for some reason it was connecting for you as well. Like, instead of going black, it's like this.
Yeah, I don't want black. It's just going to be too harsh.
Too hard. Yeah, too hard. My lights are shining on my face. It's shining on the window. I'm moving around in my office.
Backlit and they're.
Yeah, like where's? Oh, that's what it is. It's this backlight. It's all crazy. Yeah, so let's almost play with that.
Okay.
With the gray in the font. Remember how we did that beautiful gray with Sarah? We got the almost like the, we had like a peach. Then we used the gray, and it made her look so much, had more masculine to it. The pink was really soft, but that gray gave it a really lovely tone. So let's try that gray, charcoal gray almost in the font with the purple and the blue.
All right.
You know, do you have a little bit of a visual idea that you can run with, so we can at least present something tomorrow to Sandra?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'm looking for the assets right now.
Yeah. All right. So this is fun. It's always super fun. And our team is so amazing. They get so into everyone's brand that it becomes totally part of their DNA. And it comes out really nice. And I'm excited to meet you, because then we're going to learn so much more about you as well. Okay, so we can play with something like that. And then for a moving forward piece too, Sandra, for the event side of it all, I would love if we can figure something up. We can come to going, you know what, I really do like that, even if it's just the font. Do you have an image already of you that's a high, like a high resolution, like a photo shoot style image that could be used for like some kind of a stand-up banner, or even using a background image?
Interesting. I had, I've got one from Burning Man that was done.
That's how I knew I liked you.
She's been like 4 times.
I've been 4 times.
Our daughter took us last year.
Fabulous. Oh, we've got so much to talk about. So, yeah, for the past 3 years, I've been an exhibiting artist at Burning Man.
Oh my goodness! Now my daughter's not even going to stop talking to you. She wants to have an art exhibit herself. So
yes,
yeah, she took us there. She presented us with the 10 principles, and she paid for our tickets. So
you have a great daughter.
I know, she's 12.
Ah, that's awesome. That's amazing. Oh my God. So I have something I stumbled across. So you'll appreciate this. You know the lingo then. So I stumbled across this photographer. I was wandering around. I think it might have still been around Build Week, and I don't remember. But no, it had started. So Center Camp was open. And I was just wandering around Center Camp, and there's the photographer, a professional photographer, the guy who did the book, I think he just called it Burners. And he did portraits of burners over the years. And he comes every year and he sets up his photo studio and he gifts portraits. That is his gift. So I show up there. I had no makeup on. I had been wandering around aimlessly, and I show up and there's like nobody waiting in line. And I'm like, this guy is a famous frickin' portrait artist.
No way.
So I signed my name. I was like, sure, I'll get mine done. And I love this one image that he took of me. It's a little woo-woo looking though, because I'm in all my
your shiny burner gear.
No, it's definitely not shiny. I'm in my hippie spiritual burner gear.
Okay, all right, I got
you. Yeah, I don't do shiny. I don't do shiny shit at Burning Man.
I don't do shiny shit. We did a lot of glittery clothing. My daughter put us in a lot of.
I don't do shiny shit at Burning
Rhonda,
Man.
you have to share some of the pictures with her of your stuff.
Yeah. Oh, I'd love to see it. No, I'm totally into comfort. So like flowy, cottony, like harem pants, hippie shit.
That's your jam.
That's my jam. It's comfort all the way. I don't, my effort went into the art, not my outfits. So I didn't really care about that scene. It's fun. It's great fun to watch. I love the creativity. But, for me, I'm just like, let me just put on something that's comfortable. So it
works. So you could potentially go have an image that could work.
Yes, I can send that to you. He did send me, he took several pictures and then the gift was to pick, I get to pick one. And then he sent back the high res of it. So I can send that to you. So you take a look and see.
Okay.
So
all right, so we can take a look at that and see if it's something that we could use for a stand-up banner that could showcase just the name. Because even this is the thing, even in film, it's like, let's say you made one of these stand-up banners while you're doing a talk and something you kept, it shows progression as well with a brand, which is still amazing, right?
Okay.
So it could be a potential, doesn't necessarily have to be, or even if it's like something that like we make that we do get printed so that when you're, I don't know, I'm just thinking of ways that we can have to showcase you with, like the work that you're creating that is physical, something that you're physically holding.
Okay.
Or we can just go into development, and that's what we do. Like that's the move for this look. Yeah,
I want to get really clear while I'm here about my messaging.
It's 100%, and that's what we're working on very heavily.
Yeah.
At the event.
You got me really. I appreciate that because you got me thinking about like you said, the methodology. Mm-hmm. And it's stuff was like, oh my God, and I never thought about, did I have a method to that? And
well, that's going to be a really important feature because that's a differentiation, right? Between you got something nice to I need what you have.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And we had it was the Sexy Goddess Way, right? That was one of the woman's. Hers was the Sexy Goddess Way, or was it Sexy Goddess or Warrior Woman's Way? Wasn't that what it was? Something like that. Warrior Woman's Way. Was her process, and we just right. Then there was the Whisper.
Yeah.
So we're going to create that. Like you got to say, I am the creator of the divine feminine. I got to get it.
Warrior goddess.
Like
Come on.
When you say it,
you are one. Own it.
Oh, for sure. Don't worry. I'll get it. Like when you say it, it's like, and I do this. Like we're going to work with. I'm the creator of the divine feminine warrior goddess.
The tagline I think is critical too.
We're going to nail that. Yeah. And we work a lot on that.
Okay. Then
okay. So we have a feel. We can see you. You're glowing. We know what you're about.
I'm just sweating, Rhonda.
There's a pulse to you. Oh, you mean it's hot in Bali? No.
And by the way, if you can't tell, I do use humor in my work.
Good.
I like
So do
to
we.
keep it light. I like to keep it not too serious, because some of it can be pretty heavy stuff. And so, if I can get anybody to laugh, that just is a bonus.
Well,
So
that's our style, because otherwise you take life way too seriously and nothing is so serious. The only thing
no.
that's serious is death, and that's it. That's the only thing you should be very serious about, right?
No, not so much of that even. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
It's just a transition. You're just
yeah,
transitioning to
that's
another
it.
energy, state.
Yeah.
So it's whatever.
And
It's the
we're,
next step.
that's it. And we're all on the same plane and mindset of just doing our very best. So,
Lovely.
yeah. All right. So is there anything more that you're getting an idea with that you would like to share?
You've given me some things that I need to be meditating on, that I need to be thinking about.
Yeah.
The process, the tagline, those are two things that if I can get those clarified along with my message, I would call that a huge success.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
All right. Well,
that to me, that's where I am now, and to be to get that across would be really valuable, because I've been just kind of treading water in this whole process and just going, what the hell am I doing? And every time I try and not do it, like literally my guides and angels are like, what the fuck are you doing?
Pull you back.
Write your book. I don't want to write my book. It's a lot of work.
Well, it's really interesting. I'll just leave you with this, is that it took me about 8 years to write my book. And it was just because I wanted to do more things. And I just couldn't stop and just do this one thing. It took me a long time to write the book. And what I've come to find is typically the reason why we want to write a book is because we do have something that needs to come out of us. And I felt initially that the book was the only way for me to get it out. So I had to tell the story, and then I had to just talk about what I liked and what I knew, right? And educate people in a book. But in reality, a book is usually a course or a program or a methodology that needs to come out. And if we flush it out in chunks like we do in course development, the book is already there. So there's could be some elements of shift or ideas that could come for you that
I'm totally open to all of that.
Because a book is really just chapters. Modules in a course are chapters in a book that you do independently and individually, one at a time. And they either go linear or non-linear. And all of a sudden they're developed, and you realize it was so much more effortless because all you focus is on this one start of my methodology. If I want to get them from A to B or here to here, what would be the steps that I would take? Simple.
Yeah.
And think that way. And then your methodology starts to come out, right? So then you can, because the whole mission of what we do is helping people understand how easy it is, okay? And I'm showing you this just for that reason. People work with me because if I showed them this, they'd go, oh, what is that? Right? Like, that's crazy. That's, what is that? That's a process of, development of a product. But when I show them this, everything that we're creating with you and for you is your brand soul. It's how your consumer connects to you, and that's how the brand actually connects to the soul. But the only thing that we do with everyone when we work with them is we create the promise, then we write the story, we develop the innovation, create the purchase moments that they work through, which is the development, and then the experience. Now, that's so simple when I tell people that's what our sexy brand building formula is. Now, if they realize that each of them have lengths and depths to get through, right? Because we have to, in order to get the promise, you've got to go so deep.
Yeah.
Although the simplicity of sharing with people what's going to get them or help them find their divine feminine warrior goddess within, if you can give them that, it just starts here, ladies. And then you find your feminine self. You mirror the masculine, but you lean on the feminine. You pull your warrior, and then you just give them the simple little steps. They go, I can clearly live and step into my divine feminine warrior goddess self. And then now they either want a course, they want a book, they just want you. So it comes down to you going, what is that? What do I want this to be? Where do I want this ascension to go? Is it just a book, or is just the book the information? That's the only medium I feel like it should be in. Or do I have it all laid out and I actually understand it, and I feel that simplicity and the more eyeballs and people would lean in with me if I actually turned it into a course that I could help them walk through it and work with them. So we're going to go through this. Don't worry. On the 29th is we're going to do a lot of this work together. But I'm leaving you with the simplicity of it all. And that's where I want you to think. This is my whole process that takes 6 months. But look how simple it is.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Oh, I will be honest. It's a little overwhelming.
Okay.
Because I am coming from, all this happened just in the past month. And I was coming from, I'm just writing a book to this.
Wow, look at me. I'm in Bali and all of a sudden I'm talking about, and that's okay. So, but again, knowledge is power, and what you don't know could be exactly what you needed. And I was interviewing Robert Bonnet today. He's a gentleman. He's wrote the book, Soul Survivor, unbelievable man. And he said he didn't know, as he was a Black kid that was abandoned until he was 16 years old. He actually didn't know that he could do something until someone said, you know, just because you're a Jamaican boy that's been abandoned, that's lived in a foster care home since you're 16, doesn't mean you can't be something. And he was like, that suggestion changed his life. He became one of the most famous male models in the world.
Wow.
And he's written the book Soul Survivor, and he's just done unbelievable things because someone said, did you know that just because you could have that? So I always look at power of suggestion and realizing there's another world out there could not even be something that's in your space yet, that you realize that could be yours.
Well, it's like I never thought about methodology. I never thought about a tagline.
Yeah.
So this is all stuff like, okay.
All right.
All right.
Don't over sweat it. Let it just load and think about it and visualize in your meditation one woman that you could bring through this methodology, and she's the one that could truly be transformed. And just let her fly, let her dance, let her sing, let her move around and see what falls on in front of her.
Okay. All right.
Yay. All right. And Jez is going to do some Jez magic that he does.
All magic.
So by the end of business day tomorrow, we should have a couple little ideas just for you to just go, oh, I could like that.
Great. That sounds like fun.
All right. And we're going to see you tomorrow anyways.
Tomorrow for, I guess this is a cocktail party or something, or a...
The owner of this house, this villa, they are creating another villa or another hotel of some sort. But because it's the new moon, new beginnings, new developments, and it's the lunar, it's also the lunar year.
Yeah, lunar new
We're
year.
having a lion, the Lion Parade, which is a Chinese New Year celebration
I've seen that, yeah.
of bringing out the developments for their families, new ideas that they've got, and they want us to be part of it because we are coming in the sacred moment when the developments are coming through that villa. And because of the energies and all the greatness that we've got, they want us there, and they want us to be part of it because we're going to be there for the very first day of the new beginning.
Yeah. Well, it is,
as
I mentioned in my email, the new moon is the time to set your intentions for the upcoming month. So that is a great exercise for everyone to do. And I put mine on my altar and I check in on it. And then I see on the full moon, I look at what's manifested and look at how things are going. And it's a great thing to do on the new moon.
I love it.
Me
So
too.
I'm ready for it. So I'm excited to see all of you, and what a beautiful day to do it. And to start the whole week together is just going to be so much magic. So
okay, well, I'll have to find something fancy in the 2 suitcases.
No, it's not. It's a Bali. No, it's just a little ceremony. So it's not. It's just cash.
Cash. Okay, good to know.
Yeah. No, it's super casual.
Okay. Save my goddess outfits for the photo shoot.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will meet you all in person tomorrow. Thank you all very much.
All right, my dear.
Greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Have a great evening. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay.
Be unstoppable.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thanks, guys.